So, Alex, great discussion last week on the general health, wellness, and nutrition for our generation. Now, let's get a little more specific. As we get older, our bodies produce less of the substances that give us that youthful vitality. Does this really have to happen? Do we really have to lose that vitality?
Um, that's a tough one. It's yes and no. We're going to lose some of the vitality, but no, we're not going to lose, and it's not necessarily to lose all the vitality. There's
Okay.
many ways to repair and energize the tissues to keep producing what they're supposed to do.
So, is there any one thing from a supplement or nutritional supplement standpoint that the general public, male and female, could benefit from?
Yes, human growth hormone,
Hmm.
HGH is what it's known by. Um, Probably one of the most important, or it is the most important hormone in the body. This is the one that we usually start. It peaks when when are between 10 and 20 years old.
Hmm.
Babies have it, and after 20, 25 starts diminishing. By the time you're 40, you really need a lot. By the time you're 60, you barely have any released, and so on.
So, what really is HGH and how does our body produce it?
AGH is a hormone produced by the pineal gland, by the pituitary. I'm sorry, by the pituitary gland, and it's right under the brain, and it's the anterior pituitary that produces it. It's actually a large molecule that constitutes about 191 amino acids. So it's quite a large molecule, and it's what it does is actually speeds up growth and cell division and development inside the body and healing.
Hmm. Okay. So, what are some general benefits from using HGH replacement?
Um, Other than immune system, rapid healing, faster recovery, muscle growth, fat loss, energy, brain, mental focus and alertness, mood. Um, that's the joint health, the joint recovery, pain. That's some
Hmm.
of the that's
Okay.
some of the important stuff.
Yeah. So this is for the non-athlete. This is just the general
This is
public.
for the athlete and the non-athlete,
Okay.
for the kid, for the adult, and for everyone else. Everybody's using. Everybody needs HGH at a point or not. That's why we always
Hmm.
have to keep our bodies in check with what we talked about in the last videos, which is the diet, the sleep pattern, and all of this stuff that actually help your body keep producing at a certain level and keeping us younger longer.
So, last week we talked about general diet and nutrition, and this may be a good place to throw this in. Is there anything other than hormone replacement therapy that we can do to increase the level of HGH as we age?
Absolutely. There's a lot of things to watch from the diet that we can avoid that slow down the production of HGH. So, synthetic sugars, white sugars, lots of
Hmm.
saturated fats, the same things you would have to avoid for bad health. Period, are the same ones that are going to affect the production of HGH. At the same time, we can increase extensive activity level. That means if you pick 20 minutes or 30 minutes of intensive, strong exercise until you sweat, this is perfect to make that pituitary gland kick in and produce HGH at any age. So you're
Okay.
forcing it to do it. At the same time, you have to take care of your adrenal. So if you overdo the 30 minutes, you start forming cortisol, and cortisol can actually reverse the whole thing. You start
Hmm.
storing fat, and then you stop running. You stop producing HGH and all that. So you have a gap time where you have to force yourself. Basically, you're faking your body that you're still young. You're making yourself do something that you don't normally do. I'm like, I'm gonna kick in right now. I'm gonna go run and sprint for what I can do it for like 1 minute, 30 seconds. I'm gonna do it right now. And this is a sign to your body that you're still active, healthy. So of course, I'm not telling you to do that. Some people can do it if they're healthy enough. Of course, discuss with your doctor if you can do intensive and extensive training to a certain degree. So, but at the same time, it's always good to trick your body that you're still young. That's why take a day off from stress. Yoga. resting, enough sleep. REM sleep makes your body produce more HGH or release more HGH. So have deep sleep. It's good to take a half-hour nap at noon or at 2 sometimes. That will help too. There's many little things you can do off and on that can make your body release and produce a little bit more GH regularly. Keeping the adrenal healthy is another one.
That's interesting. That's probably why the trainer had me doing sprints, where I'd been just simply running for 30, 45 minutes. He stopped that and started doing sprints.
He probably doesn't know why, but I hope he would, because the sprint
Yeah.
makes a big difference. I always say, break a sweat.
Okay.
Once the sweat drops, this is the real training. So
Okay.
basically, if you run every day for 2 or 3 minutes, your body's going to get used to that. It's not going to become anything different. It's not going to change anything. So once in a while, you have to shock your body, do something above and beyond. You don't have to do it every day. If you do it on a daily basis, it improves. It's like going back in time, pretty much. Your HGH start getting higher instead of lower. So you're delaying the aging process.
Okay. So I want to hit something head on, right between the eyes. I've read a lot of negative things about hormone replacement, synthetic hormone replacement. Can you speak to that? Please?
I say always check with your doctor before you're using any kind of hormone. Hormones are hormones, and you always have to be careful when you're administering them in any way, if it's a supplement or even if it's a drug or injectables. So always check with your doctor first. But some hormones are safer and have been studied, clinically studied. A lot of research behind it through the last 50 to 100 years and over. And you can buy them in a supplement form, in a pill or cream or homeopathic or liquid form, and you can use them and apply them safely within a certain dose. So always, stay away from the illegal aftermarket stuff, and if you're going to use it, you're going to use a real hormone. Always consult your physician, unless if it's a hormone that's already known, like DHEA or melatonin. And those are safe to take on a daily basis on a little dose, so you're not really risking side effects, and there hasn't been any known side effects with any of these things. And at the same time, coincidentally, HGH is the safest one. In a natural homeopathic level dose, and you can take it daily and receive the benefit.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to tell us about HGH, and also what's going to be the next thing that we cover in this series?
The first thing I would like to mention is, as I said earlier, HGH is one single large molecule. That means 190 amino acids at least in it. That means it's hard to assimilate. You cannot take HGH drops. Because it will be wasted and it doesn't go through the lining of the cells. You cannot take HGH and turn it in your stomach because the stomach will destroy it, one, and it doesn't pass the stomach lining because of the 191 amino acid molecule ratio, so it's just too big of a molecule. So be careful what you're doing. Always do your research and homework on the reputation of what you're using and the brands. Make sure it's made in a lab. HGH is pharmaceutical. It's starch from a pharmaceutical base. A company that has pharmaceutical knowledge should acquire it and mess with it. Whether it's homeopathic or not, it has to be a real HGH to be dealt with. So always be careful what your source is and find out what it is. Make sure they're FDA approved, they're HPLC licensed, and they know what they're doing when it comes to that. And so for next week, a little bit more on HGH and testosterone.
Testosterone. We'll look forward to that, guys. And until next week.
Thank you.